Alright, so another day and another video. The first thing I will talk about again is the wood problem. Wood, I think, is going to be pushing 50 to £100 a tonne in the next couple of weeks. I could see it even going to the point where you can't get rid of it like it was 3-4 years ago. So we're all in the shit. Don't know what the solution is. Don't think there is one. There's 3-4 power stations shut down. I think Tilbury's getting maintenance. Lockerbie, they're all on shutdown. So yeah, these people are ringing around to get rid of the wood and stuff and paying a fortune. I would strap yourself in because we're going to have yards full of wood like we did years ago. I don't think the Environment Agency will, be looking at doing enforcements and stuff like that just on the basis that, there's nowhere for it to go. It's not like we're not trying to get rid of it. There is actually no capacity for any material, to go anywhere. But the reason for the video today is, which follows on nicely from that topic, is fires in waste yards from these little bastards. Vapes. This is an empty one that I've just got out the yard. Because we look for these like God knows what. Vapes, phones, all stuff like that. And I'm going to show you, which is something that you might not know. So years ago, our yard completely burnt down, top to bottom, the full lot. When all these vapes and stuff started coming about, we had 2 fires in 2 weeks when we wasn't prepared for it. This was years ago, when vapes and lithium-ion batteries was brand new. Where now, obviously, we're aware of how things go and stuff like that. What I will tell you is with a fire, and I've got the footage of our yard fully burning down, which I'm going to show you, give you some context, is that a lithium-ion battery can get a puncture in it and can take, an hour or whatever to actually blow up. It's not something that happens straight away. The fire in our yard, we went home about 5 o'clock and, there's a fire, everybody's on Facebook. Yeah, it's a fucking insurance job. How can you insure rubbish? That's one thing. People talk shit. I see it on, these Facebook pages. Somebody has a fire in the yard and like, yeah, it's another insurance job. For what reason? You get rubbish, it sets on fire, you wet it, it's twice as heavy, and you still got to get rid of it. It don't make no sense. You don't have a fire in your yard and they just leave it to burn out and all the rubbish gone, brilliant. When we had a fire, we had to build a new building, we had to put all concrete on the floor because all the concrete turns into powder, buy new machinery, build new, people are divvies, aren't they? But anyway, right, so I'm going to show you the footage from when our yard basically burnt down. And it was in the local papers, and here it is. The footage is a bit crap because the actual amount of smoke and steam in the room, this is when the fire's out. This is like what we would class as, where the fireman said basically all the fuel is out of the fire. There's not a lot left. It's ash. It's just wet ash and all, wet material. So this was, the full building, as you can see, is completely burnt down. And we had 2 fires like that back to back. If you're running a plant like this one here, so I'm just going to show you, a plant running. What can happen is, as this sort of vape or whatever goes through a trommel and gets banged around, they can actually become unstable inside. So how a battery and a vape works, and I will show you exactly what's inside one. It's basically 3 sheets of membrane. So you've got one like that separating them, and then another one on the top. So you've got a positive and a negative, if you like, and then in between you have something to stop them getting together. And what happens is if you get a little fracture in that, or a little mark in it, or a little hole in it, over time they're leaking between each other, and that's when the fire starts because they will continuously burn their self. So this sheet, as you can see on the video here, the top one, as it says there, is the ground. Then you've got the lithium, which is charged up. And then the sheet in the middle, which is the bottom sheet, the clear one, that is what separates the 2 sheets from each other. So it's basically a sandwich, and you've got a positive and negative, and you're keeping them apart. What can happen with this material is just the smallest little puncture in any of this sandwich, if you like, or if you bent it or anything like that, when they're back together like that, will give it fuel, its own fuel, and that much heat that it will spontaneously combust. And this is a good demonstration of this happening. So they put a puncher in it, and then it will completely run on its own fuel, steam, whatever. If that was in the middle of a pile, let's say you'd pushed it up into the rubbish and it's buried and it can't get, you know, the flame can't get going. And I think that's what happened in our yard, because we went home about 5 o'clock, all the rubbish was pushed up at the end of the night and everything else. A couple of hours later, you know, you've got a fire, a big inferno raging, and you basically don't know what to do with it. You know, it's hard to put out. So the top and bottom of this situation is I'm going to show you a few more videos of these spontaneously, you know, starting fires. You've got to get your lads to make sure they're looking out for mobile phones, vapes. You know, this stuff's in everything now. Anything with a rechargeable battery is almost always lithium ion, because it's a lot better battery technology. I mean, you know, every car on the road what's got a battery pack in it now, all the new stuff, it's all lithium ion. A lot of things we get, if you're in, you know, doing construction demolition, you will get a lot of power tools and things like that. So you want your lads to start pulling them out. Then becomes the other problem, you know, where do you get rid of them? What do you do with them? You know, obviously you could send them to scrapyards. A lot of them now are getting set up to deal with lithium batteries, and there is reprocessors. There's actually quite a bit of value to it. There's a lot of copper and stuff like that in a lithium ion battery. But the problem comes, you know, with handling them. I don't know if where you are, if these people are paying you with stuff, but round here, you know, we don't get that much. I mean, you know, few kilos every now and again. You know, they don't charge you. You go in there with a little bit, you know, they'll take it for free. But if you was producing quite a bit of it, if you've got a big plant, then I would have thought the scrapyards would probably charge you for it. I mean, these videos that we're watching here, you know, these are just literally where it's come in the back of a truck and set on fire. But what you have to also remember is some of these fires, what the fire brigade told me with lithium batteries, in waste, you can actually get a fire that's actually smouldering. So the battery's blown up or whatever has happened, it's been crushed, you've pushed all the rubbish up. Because the fire goes inside and it can't get enough oxygen to actually break through the waste, so to get to its own air, it can take time to smoulder its way up like that, so it makes some sort of hole out into the outside of the waste, and then you've got the inferno. I mean, top and bottom of it is I don't think it's something that we can sort out, because how do you spot that? You know, how do you spot this little thing in, you know, sometimes 500 ton of waste or whatever that you have in your building? It's a difficult one. We've had fire watchers on site and everything, and to be fair, you know, it doesn't help. You can get the cannons, the water cannons, but again, not all of them, you know, will deal with a big fire. So anyway, I hope that gives you some idea of, you know, what caused it and how a lithium battery works, and I hope you've enjoyed looking at our yard burn down. That's still a sore subject for us, but you know, all these videos here of other yards setting on fire and spontaneously combusting will give you an idea of how easy it is, so just be vigilant with it. I hope everybody gets sorted out with the wood, because we are going to be in a nightmare now running up between now and December. But, you know, what can we do? They reckon that this shortage of disposal outlets is going to last way into next year. So, who knows? See you all soon. Bye.